Yo, what it do? We're in California where it's triple digit heat again. Summer's almost over, what the heck, California? But the perks are, as you can see, I have this whole skate park all to myself. But instead of enjoying it, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna be showing you guys a new trick. And for this week's tutorial, I'm gonna be showing you guys how to Feeble 180, both Feeble Hard and Feeble Soft. And even though it's brutal, I'm gonna be doing this for you guys because you guys have been asking, so I'm here to deliver. So let's get to it. Like always, you're gonna need two things, the bike and the obstacle. For today, we have this little flat ledge here. This one isn't exactly ideal for you guys because it's a little short, but I've done this Feeble Hard 180 on this ledge many times, so it's a proper length for me. But, you know, something that's a little longer than this, I would say this is about a 6-foot ledge. You might want something that's closer to that one where it's about an 8-foot ledge, or ideally, we don't have it at this skate park, but something like that one over there where it's like a nice 12 to 14 footer. The reason you want a longer ledge is that you want to have a good setup time. The important part of a Feeble is that you're going to want to feel as comfortable with it and almost as if you're doing a double tire, and that'll help you do the 180 off of it, either, again, soft or hard. So for today, let's tackle the easier one first and then move to the harder one. So obviously, as the name indicates, the Feeble Soft or Feeble Easy is going to be easier than obviously the Feeble Hard. But again, for those of you guys that are not goofy footed, a Feeble 180 is, for example, I'm left foot forward, so I'll be grinding with my left peg and I'm going to be spinning switch, so that's counterclockwise. If you're on the right, it's going to be the opposite, so you're going to be right foot forward, grinding on the right, spinning clockwise. If you're goofy footed, then both of these will be backwards, and Feeble Hard will actually be even harder for you guys because your back foot will have to be pulling the back end, but that's a whole other thing that we'll deal when we get to it. So for now, let's tackle the Feeble Soft. Had to sit in the shade to relieve myself from this heat. It is crazy hot. Okay, so let me explain the first things. I know that on my channel I haven't done a how to Feeble grind yet, but it's pretty straightforward. It's much like a double peg, except you lean back a little bit and you get your front tire on the ledge. The main point of this is you want to keep your tire as close to the edge and in a straight line as you can. So usually you kind of just stiffen out your arms and lock it in place. Once you get the Feebles down, then you're ready for the Feeble Switch 180. So let's say you already have your normal 180s dialed, then you learn them switch. So, you know, if you learn them clockwise, now you want to learn them counterclockwise. Once you got them pretty locked and loaded, then it's time to take them to a grind. Feeble, I would say, is the easiest grind to 180 out of. So, if you have 4 pegs, you can actually do switch Feeble, regular 180. For example, I can Feeble with the right peg and 180 to the right, which is my normal way. Or, if you're more comfortable doing it regular grind, switch 180, then here are the steps. Alright, so for starters, approach this ledge back here a little faster than you would any other grind. You kind of want to have the speed that'll carry you off the ledge. So do a couple Feebles where you kind of like launch past the ledge afterwards, so you're not just exactly like sliding off, but you're actually hopping off. Now you got that out of the way, you want to take the next step and try and do like a Feeble 90. A little secret that a lot of people don't know about or maybe don't use is that you can kind of like nollie off the Feeble 180. And the way you do that is you kind of like lean your weight forward, and while your tire is still on the ledge, you kind of use that to push yourself off of it. And for the Feeble switch, since you're 180ing off of the ledge and away from it, it's actually pretty easy because you're swinging your momentum away from the ledge, so nothing's going to really catch. And then all you have to do is kind of like tuck up the front end a little tiny bit so that the front peg doesn't hit. I think in one of these takes, my front peg does hit. And that just means I was being lazy, but I guess if you want to be cool, you can throw the peg bunk in there and add some seize points, but usually you want to clear it completely. Once you kind of start forming the 90, then it's time to do the whole 180. And all that really is just kind of like looking over your shoulders and swinging your shoulders and your waist, and then obviously your bike will have to follow. But all in all, it's pretty straightforward. The Feeble Switch 180 is, I would say, the easiest grind variation there is. Like Feeble, Switch 180, done. As far as the Feeble Hard 180 goes, that's a little more difficult. The prerequisites for this are obviously being able to do a Feeble and your normal 180. So that sounds more straightforward. But the problem is that you're actually going to be fighting against the friction and speed. A lot of people try and do Feeble Hard 180s with no speed, maybe the same speed that they do a soft 180. And the problem with that is that you're going to be trying to launch far off the ledge. And what I mean by that is you can see this take. I don't only try and push away from the ledge, I'm trying to gap past it. So a little tip that I use, much like on the Feeble Switch 180s, I kind of push down on the front end. You can do something similar with Feeble Hard. So what I try and do is I imagine that there's like a line that's about 3 to 4 feet past the ledge, and I try to 180 towards that. And the reason that this works is that it forces you to slide through the whole ledge, gap past it, and when you're doing that, there's not going to be any kind of friction or tire bumping. A lot of people will run into the problem that their back tire will hit the ledge or just kind of completely rub on it. And the reason that that's happening is that you're not clearing far enough. So again, if you imagine something that you have to clear after the ledge, it'll actually help you envision that and then go faster and clear it. But the basic steps are the same as a Feeble Soft. So approach the ledge faster than you would normally grinding it, and you want to pretend that you're going to be gapping off, I would say at least 2 feet past the ledge. Then you're going to be doing a swooping motion. And what I mean by that is that you're going to be scooping your front end. So as you can see in these takes, and I'll slow-mo it for you guys, I kind of start penciling out, and then I start almost like looping out as if I'm going to like do like a manual 180 or a really penciled out 180. And what that does is it kind of makes you more narrow. Obviously, if a bike has both tires on the ground and you measure it, it's 5 feet long. But if you kind of like erect it and get it up, then it's a little less long, and that'll make it so you can clear more of the ledge. Well, when you're swooping or kind of like looping out, it's making it easier to kind of like avoid that friction, and you're gonna wanna be swooping kind of like away from the ledge anyways, so that'll make sure it's clearing. Again, I'm on there pretty centered, and then as I'm ready to 180 off, you'll kind of start seeing that my arms and legs, and I'm in a squatting position. I don't think I need to insert the squatting lady this time, but that'll allow me to pop out of the ledge and kind of use my full extension to like make sure that the 180 gets its complete rotation. If my tire is ever rubbing on the side, it's ever so gently. And I'm really trying to push both away from the ledge. So if I'm grinding on the left, I'm trying to push to the right, and then clearing the back end. Sometimes even on a good day, like it'll take me a couple times to get the Feeble Hard 180 warmed up, because if you're being lazy, you'll notice that your tire will drag, or you're not doing the full rotation, or you're just kind of like bumping on it because again, you're being lazy and not taking all the appropriate steps to make sure it's like a nice smooth 180 and grind. So some troubleshooting tips. If you're rubbing way too much, sometimes it does help to actually apply some wax on the side of the ledge, and although it's not like a proper technique, at least you kind of start forming more of the 180, and as you get better at it, sorry, text messages, you'll actually figure out how to kind of push away and past the ledge, and that'll help you do it better. Another thing is that people are only getting stuck at 90. The reason for that is that you're not looking up and over your shoulders, or you're not, again, pushing away from the ledge. If you're just landing 90 and like kind of toppling over, again, go a little faster, maybe apply some wax, and then make sure you kind of make it a dramatic 180. Like, you kind of want to manhandle your bike past that ledge. So after doing a couple more hard 180s, I noticed that something that might occur to you guys is your back peg coming off the ledge. And the reason for that is that some people try and carve too much, and when you do that, you start rotating early and you forget about the back end, and that'll cause it to like fall off the ledge. So what you want to do is make sure that your back peg is almost completely into the ledge, and you want your front tire to be almost in a completely straight line. You don't want to really use it too much to carve, because that's what's going to push your back end off. And then any other problem, like I said, is a variation of all these things. So again, speed, making sure that your back tire doesn't drag by launching past the ledge, and then making sure your front tire stays in a straight line and that your back peg stays really close to the ledge. That's pretty much it. But yeah, Feeble 180s, both ways, hard and soft, are super fun. You can do them on anything, up ledges, down ledges, flat rails, round rails, on your neighbor, whatever. I mean, it's limitless. You can do Feeble 180s on just about anything. And the trick is a little bit of speed and confidence, and you got it. But that's gonna do for me today. Hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. And like always, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. And tune in for tomorrow's episode. I think we're gonna go on some adventures with the boys. It's really hot, so we might go to a water park or a pool. Something cool, something not exactly BMX related, but with your favorite protagonists like Stevie, Connor, Tyra, Began, maybe even Adam 22. But yeah, thanks guys. Have a good one. Peace.